Hey guys, it's LaRue. Welcome back to the channel. Today's book video is all about the 5 books on my to-read list that I am most excited about. If you follow me on Goodreads, link below, you'll see that I have tons of books on my Goodreads to read list. That's where I keep track of all the books. Obviously, you've seen my July to read list already, so those books, yeah, I'm excited about reading them. They're what I'm going to be reading for this month, but there are a couple books that are coming out soon or that I've put on my list recently that I can't wait. I can't wait until I get to that point where I'm ready to read them, or I get the books from the library if it's a book that I need to check out. So I scrolled through my Goodreads most recent listings, and I just picked the 5 out of those most recent listings that I'm most excited about. I'm going to share them with you right now. So the first book is called The Book of Joy. And during Book Expo, there was one of the author panels. Somebody recommended this book. It actually came out in 2016, and it's a conversation between the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. And they are both renowned spiritual leaders. They know a lot about this topic. And the subtitle is Lasting Happiness in a Changing World. I feel like at a time like now, where we've got the COVID pandemic and everything, there's probably not feeling a lot of joy. I know a lot of people are struggling with certain things right now, and finding happiness can sometimes be hard when you're like cooped up in your house all day. But this book takes a 3-pronged approach at trying to discover what happiness is and how you can find it, how you can cultivate it in your life. I assume no matter what. But apparently they talk about their own stories and experiences. They talk about the science behind happiness. And there are a lot of books about happiness out there. Gretchen Rubin's The Happiness Project comes to mind. I've read that book and it was really good. And she has a couple other happiness-based books as well. And then the third prong of this book is the daily practices and how you can use those, what they use, what Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama use, and what you can use also to cultivate the joy and really anchor it in your lives so that it's a core part of your life, even now, I suppose. So that's one of the books that I'm really excited about reading based on the Book Expo recommendation. Okay, so if you follow me on the blog, a review of Lumen A is going up, and it took me 5 years to read this book, but it didn't actually, even though it is pretty big, it didn't take me that long to like get through the entire book. Not as long as I thought it was going to, because let me show you, some of the pages are, like this. It's not just wall-to-wall text. It was a very interesting story, and I liked the way it was told. I thought that was unique. And you can read more about it in the full review. The ending, I don't want to give anything away, but I do kind of wish the ending had been somewhat different. But anyway, there are 2 more books in the series, so I'm going to group these together as the second book I'm most excited about reading. It's Jonah and Obsidio. So those are also by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. And I'm excited to read them just because I've just read this one, and I do want to find out how the story continues and how they continue to tell the story. Is it the same type of deal as this book, where it's told through like memos and texts and whatnot? Next time we do a library curbside pickup, I'm going to request both of those books so that I can read them back to back, relatively close to finishing this one, because I don't want to forget anything. I feel like that happens a lot in series where you start one book and then you like take a break and then you try to go read the second book and you're like, what happened? So since all 3 of these books are already out, because they've been out for a while, I'm just going to try to read them all in quick succession as best that I can, so I can finish the story and see what happens. Okay, another book that I'm really excited about, and I don't have an e-arc of this book or a physical arc either. I don't know who got it. It comes out in November, and it's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This was buzzed about so hard during Book Expo, and I guess BookCon as well. I watched one of the author panels with the author, V.E. Schwab, and it was very, very interesting. The topic of the book, a girl makes a pact with the devil to live forever, but no one is going to remember who she is. So the reader gets to hear her story, but the people that she encounters don't you know, like even if she did something great and life-changing for someone, they're not going to remember her. So we get to follow her story, but from 1714 in France, bouncing around between continents and centuries. And I just thought it sounded really, really interesting, and kind of a take on, like, you know, what would you do if you wanted to live forever? Or what are the circumstances that caused her to make this deal? Like, that's her only way out. That's her only option and solution. So that book comes out in November 2020, coming up soon. And I might have to buy it if I can't get it from the library within a decent amount of time, or if my library just isn't getting it. I might have to buy this one. I'm really excited about that one. Okay, another book that I'm excited to read, that also I heard about from Book Expo, is The Last Flight. That's by Julie Clark. And I believe it's out now. If it's not, I will amend this and let you know. It's kind of a thrilling story about two women. One woman is the wife of a politician, but she's like sick of that. She's donezo. So she has this plan. She ends up meeting this woman at an airport bar, and they kind of bond over their dire circumstances, and they switch plane tickets. So this politician's wife, she goes to Oakland and is pretending to be this other woman, and then the other woman gets on the plane going to Puerto Rico. However, the other woman's plane crashes. So now the politician's wife is assuming this other woman's identity, and everyone thinks that the politician's wife is dead. But it's kind of like, well, what were the dire circumstances of the other lady? Now she's got to assume not just the identity, but all these things that this other lady was trying to run away from. So I think it sounded really, really interesting and kind of twisty and thrillery, kind of perfect for summer. So if it is out already, definitely check it out. I'm going to see if my library has it so I can do it for curbside pickup soon. And then the last book, you've probably read this one, A Man Called Ove. I have read it. Or is it Ova? I think I actually had a discussion with my book club several years ago about whether it's Ove or Ova or something. I just said Ove while I read the book because I don't care. But I read it and it was really great. This is actually my mom's copy. Don't read a book that your mom gave you while she's dying of cancer, because it's not fun. And this book particularly was very sad. I cried a lot, but it was very good. And Frederick Bachman has a new book coming out in September called Anxious People. I actually have an e-arc of that book. So I'm going to be able to read it and review it for you, which I'm very excited about. Basically, there's a bank robbery, and this robber locks himself in with this hodgepodge group of people, and the whole story is told through police witness interviews with all the people that had been in the room. And it's, it's comedic. It's going to be silly and funny because all of these people have their unique personalities and unique perspectives on what happened. And it's like they were all locked in there, and eventually the robber is just like, you guys can just go. Like, I'm done with you all. And he's not in there either when the police show up after they've been called. So kind of like what you're trying to figure out what happened, and you're getting all these different perspectives from all the witnesses. And so I think it's going to be kind of like a comedic mystery, and I am excited to check that one out because I really liked Frederick Bachman's writing style in this one. I haven't read anything else from him, so if there are other Frederick Bachman books that you think you would recommend, definitely let me know. And those are the books that I'm most excited about, the top 5 books I'm most excited about reading from my to-read list. And some of them I'm going to be able to read very soon. Others I'm going to have to request from the library. What books are you most excited about reading right now? Leave me the titles in the comments, and give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe so you can see more great book content and scrapbook stuff. And then follow me on Goodreads because I'm always posting about what I'm reading and what I've just finished. And I would love to see all of your recommendations and your to-read lists as well. Happy reading!